Good day, everyone. Our first story today comes from entitled People subreddit. This is what might happen when you share an apartment with someone who thinks you're beneath them. The story is posted by u/kakas92 with the title Entitled Ex Flatmate. Again. So, I'm back again with another story about my entitled ex flatmate. I'm now a 29-year-old woman who works as a lighting technician in Norway. At the time I lived with this girl, 6 years older than me, I only had a 50% steady job. The rest was on and off and seasonal. Welcome to the hard lifestyle of a TV, theater, and event technician. My last post was the last straw for me since she had done this before, but that time I was home from work in time to stop the fire department from coming. I already answered some comments about leasing with her for 3 years. I know it's a long time. This was after we had already lived together as good friends for 3 years in another apartment. The only thing that changed was the fact that she got a new job, and suddenly she became too important to talk to people like me, commoners, as she now could talk to actors, filmmakers, and producers. She once told me that I was not allowed to go to a party for TV and theater workers because she might go. I can't with her. But that's another story. As said, we had a 3 year lease. It could be broken with a 3 month notice, but we were both on the lease and she didn't want to. She had almost the entire flat to herself. I stayed in my room, yet paid half of everything. She had the living room almost all to herself, and she often chose to sleep there instead of her room. When we got close to the end of our lease, I tried to do the adult thing. I sat her down to talk to her about my plans of moving out, and it went something like this. Me. I've been thinking about what to do once our lease is up, and I'm personally ready to buy my place. My bank has approved my loan application. Entitled flatmate. Oh my god, cool. Let's start looking at apartments. I would not leave it an old one. It needs to be new and. As she went on, I was shocked. She thought I would buy it for us or with her. Me. I'm looking for an apartment for me. Entitled flatmate. Oh my god, are you serious? You won't buy it with me? What am I supposed to do then? You know what? It is fine. I make so much more money than you, so you will only be able to buy old crap. Mine will be so much better because I have standards. Me. Good for you. I got up and walked away. She was fuming since I didn't give her the answer or the fight she wanted. A month later, I had bought my first apartment. It's small and from the 50s, but it's mine. The payments go to building my future instead of throwing money at the landlord. She happened to see some pictures of my apartment after I bought it. She came to me and told me how ugly and old it was, that she was going to live so much better than me. Me. Well, that's your choice. I hear you're going to spend 1,500 a month to rent a high fashion apartment. That's literally throwing money out the window, seeing you want to buy your own ASAP. FYI, my apartment might be small and old, but my total month is 1,000 with everything included, and most of it goes into my property, which will only increase in value, has already gone up to 50k in 1.5 years. It's a first time apartment, and once I'm good and ready, I can sell it and buy a new one. It's the smartest way of saving, in my opinion. Her face was priceless. She looked shocked, then mad. Entitled flatmate. I'm going to live better than you. I couldn't help myself. I looked at her with a poker face and said the words that angered her more than anything. Me. Good for you. And I walked away while her head looked like it was about to blow off. She's still living in that place, telling me about it in messages that I don't reply to. I don't know about you, but I feel bad for this entitled flatmate. She probably extremely insecure, and that's why she has to seem better than other people. Now, moving on to a second story posted by u/power to the pink bunny with the title Dad treats me like the least important person in the office, so I only let him know about something critical once instead of hounding him to get it done. My dad is a CPA, a total bummer, an awful bummer. He was exempted from serving in Vietnam for medical reasons. a rare bone disease, and has zero sympathies for Vietnam vets who haven't got their head together already. He thinks mental illnesses, including PTSD, are made of ways for doctors to give you drugs, and anyone who succumbs is weak. For example, I have bipolar, and anyone who knows anything about it knows that I should take meds as prescribed for the rest of my life. To him, that means I chose drugs, and I'm no better than a heroin addict and deserve no respect. His office and mind are chaotic. Things are lost, shuffled under stuff. Where's that file was one of the most common questions asked by any staff. Dad would have had the whole office stop to look for an important file for a coworker who swears she gave it to him, but he has no recollection of that happening. Guess where I find the file? On his desk, over by his adding machine, under a mountain of church charity brochures he just ordered. His email. Wow. If I told you he at any given time had over 3,000 unread emails, would that surprise you? Most of them were spam or 100 days of prayer stuff, but important emails were going unchecked, especially anything I sent him because nothing about me was important enough to even warrant a glance. The worst part of him making me feel useless was the fact that I was the only one who would notice something like, "We're running out of stationery," and try to order some, only to be told to wait and have to bring it up multiple times until we're down to our last two pieces and the cheapskate is photocopying our stationery because no one will notice or care. From office supplies to maintaining our ability to e-file to arranging everyone's continuing education for the year, always done in late December in a panic, calling vendors to keep our equipment running, cranking out tax returns he should have done already, while the clients wait in the lobby to pick it up. I was never fast enough. To consoling or counseling coworkers on how to approach him regarding X, new software installation. Yes, there are people in their 20s to 40s who do not know how to install a disk or open a file and click run. I was running myself ragged for the good of his company, but anything I had to say was immediately disregarded. Sorry about the previous run-on sentence. Don't know how to structure it better and still give an idea of how broad my responsibilities were because no one else gave a damn. One thing he was a stickler about was saving copies of everything. For example, in 2009, the IRS demanded a copy of a customer's certain payroll tax form they claimed not to have received from 1996. We hadn't even prepared the damn thing, but we had a copy. The paper got to be too much and the filing cabinets in the Arctic were creating cracks in the ceiling. We went paperless and our extremely competent IT guy set up 3 backup systems. Since we by then had 2 offices, he had 2 1 TB hard drives that every 2 seconds exchange data, so if a tornado blew away a whole building, we still have everything from both buildings in the other building. Another backup was kept in the cloud, and another on a server in a state across the country. One day, I had been yelled at once again until I started to cry, then was berated because of all the drugs I'm doing because he certainly didn't do anything to make me that emotional. Either go home and cry or shut up and do your job. And if he had to remind me of something, it was because I was on drugs and not because he gave me 27 things to do standing in my office while I was eating on my lunch break. On January 5th one year, I got an email from our IT guy who had CC'd Dad but knew to include me that our 1 TB backups had enough space to last maybe 2 days and that he could upgrade us in time to prevent disaster. I called over to Dad, our offices were adjacent, and our voices carry. That IT guy sent a really important email. Dad replies, in a way that tells me he's not paying a bit of attention to what I was saying. So I forwarded my email to him and changed the subject to urgent, important, pending disaster, and gave him no further reminders after that. Not my job, I was supposed to shut up, remember? So he didn't read either email. Even with my subject line, my email didn't strike him as one he should read. On Jan 8th, shit hits the fan. We lost everything. Our IT guy dropped everything and got everything up to December the 27th from the cloud backup. The server in the other state said it would cost a $7,000 rush fee and 3 weeks to fully restore everything the way it was. Well, W-2s and numerous payroll reports, sale tax filings, and other government deadlines occur in January, so we didn't have 3 weeks. My coworkers had to redo or reconstruct everything they'd done from December the 27th to January 8th, which was a lot. Anything we had completed, scanned, and shredded was gone. A major audit was underway, and several crucial spreadsheets had disappeared. The worker that had prepared them did so on his last 2 days before moving to another firm, December the 26th and 27th. All in all, our IT guy was paid about $12,000 to spend 3 14 to 16-hour days. One was his Sabbath, rescuing what he could. Over $10,000 in overtime pay. And we still had missing stuff. This was concerning to clients affected because to them, data loss means data breach. Nobody would ever hack into our system because our IT guy would consider it a personal failure if we were successfully hacked. Our data was safe from everyone, but Dad never suspected me of anything. Had I pointed out that I had reminded him only once, since he thought I should only have to be told something once, he would have berated me for sabotaging the firm. Why he wouldn't listen to me? It was my job to make sure he did his job? I don't think so. End of malicious compliance. Eventually, the harassment became too much and I had a nervous breakdown and I quit. I do food delivery for a living now because something in me is broken and I don't think I could hold down the real job anymore. My mental health has vastly improved since I left that place, and I maintain my credential and offer free random tax advice on Reddit to stay sharp. And before all the comments start about what a circus of a CPA office this must be, they are all like that. The coworker who quit in December came back to us the next year and said that even with $10,000 CRM software supposedly tracking workflow at the third largest firm in our state, where's the so and so file was the number one question daily, and they spent as much time looking for stuff as they did doing actual work. Every worker we've had with previous experience working for another CPA agreed. Files got lost all the time. I think the dad is the one that is broken, and the person in the story was just doing what any normal human being would do after years of being devalued. I'm glad that he's no longer in that situation and is much happier now.